Hello everyone, our lesson today is conjunctions in a grammar, and this is part 2. Now I have got one question for you. Can you give me examples of Fanboys conjunctions? So what are Fanboys conjunctions? If you look here, you can see F, A, N, B, O, yet, and S. So fanboys. So this means fanboys conjunctions are for, and, no, but, or, yet, and so. So we have got 7 conjunctions and we call them fanboys conjunctions. The word fanboys has no meaning, but I just use it so it can help you to remember these conjunctions. Sentence number 1, I study English. This is a simple sentence. Why? Because I use subject, I is a subject, study is a verb, English is a complement. Complement means something which completes the sentence. For, it means because. For means because. For it is useful for my future. So I have one simple sentence and another simple sentence, and in the middle I put fanboy conjunction. Number 2, I study English and I learn a lot of grammar. Again, 2 simple sentences and I join them with the conjunction and. I do not study English, nor do I learn Spanish. Here I have the same, 2 simple sentences, I join them with nor. I study English, but I do not have time to read my lessons. I can study English, or I can study French. I study English every day, yet I am at the elementary level. I study English, so I can go to university. So we have 7 conjunctions and we call them fanboys conjunctions, and these conjunctions join 2 simple sentences and we put the fanboy conjunction in the middle. I will give you more explanation about how to use these conjunctions and more examples. So if a sentence before a conjunction is short, so this is and, it is a conjunction, and the sentence before and is short, I study English. This is a short, simple sentence. So, if a sentence before a conjunction is short, do not use a comma. After English here, I don't use a comma. Why? Because I study English is a short, simple sentence. So I don't use a comma after English. But if the sentence is long, you have to use a comma. I study English in the north of America, comma. So here I use a comma because the sentence before and is long and I learn a lot of grammar every day. So how do I join the following sentences? I study English. English is useful for me. I can say I study English for it is useful for my future. What's the meaning of for? For means because. And I use for as a conjunction in the middle of a sentence. For, joins 2 simple sentences. So I use for because the second sentence, this is the second sentence, explains why I learn English. What's the reason? There is a reason why I learn English. Since as and for mean because, they have the same meaning and they are from the same family. And we use them when we want to give a reason or explain why we do something. So I can say I study English for it is useful for my future. I study English because it is useful for my future. I study English since it is useful for my future. I study English as it is useful for my future. And all these 4 sentences have the same meaning. And in each sentence we use a conjunction, and we put the conjunction in the middle, and the conjunction joins 2 simple sentences. So here I study English, I learn a lot of grammar. How do I join these 2 sentences? I use and. I study English and I learn a lot of grammar. How do I use and? I use and because the second sentence, this is the second sentence, adds more information about English. We use and when we want to add more information in the second sentence. So the first sentence gives me some information, the second sentence gives more information, or the second sentence adds more information. So how do I join these 2 simple sentences? I use and. Now, as you can see, I do not study English, I do not learn Spanish. Do not, I have here do not, and here I have do not. So the same negative. Do not and do not, this is the same negative. If you have the same negative, you have to use nor. So I do not study English, I don't change this sentence. Nor, what do? I delete not. I use nor in the middle, and after nor I make the sentence look like a question, but it is not a question. Do I learn Spanish? This is like a question, but it is not a question. So if I use nor, I should have the same negative in the 2 sentences, number 1. Number 2, if I use nor in the middle, I delete not, and the sentence after nor looks like a question, but it is not a question. So I use nor because the 2 sentences have the same negative, which is do not. I change the second sentence to make it look like a question, but it is not a question. This one, I study English, I don't have time to read my lessons. So I study English, but I don't have time to read my lessons. So I use but because the second sentence shows, this is the second sentence, shows contrast. What's contrast? It means something different or surprising. Something in the second sentence is surprising or different from, what you have in the first sentence. Next one, I can study English, I can study French. So I can join them with or. I can study English or I can study French. I can do this or I can do this. So how do I use or? I use or to show I can choose what I want to study or what I want to do. I study English every day. I am at the elementary level. So I study English every day, yet I am at the elementary level. I study English every day, yet I am at the elementary level. So I use yet because I want to show that the second sentence, this one, the second sentence, adds something surprising or unusual or different. So I am at the elementary level. This second sentence gives us information, and this information is surprising. Why is it surprising? Because if I say to you, I study English every day, you think maybe my English is very good or very high. But when I say I'm still at the elementary level, you are surprised. He studies English for many days and every day and for a long time, but he is still at the elementary level, so you are surprised. And that is why we use yet. I study English, I can go to university. I study English so I can go to university. So I join these two sentences with so. I use so because I want to show the result of the first sentence on the second sentence. So I study English, this is the first sentence. What is the result? So I can go to university. This is the result. I want to go to university. Why do I want to go to university? Because I want to study English. And if I study English, so I can go to university. So after I finish English, what is the result? I will go to university. Now this is the table. Now for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so, we call them Fanboys conjunctions. Also they have another name. They have another name which is coordinating conjunctions. Co-or-di-ne-ting. Co-or-di-ne-ting. What is a coordinating conjunction? It means it is a conjunction which can join two simple sentences, and these two simple sentences have the same length or the same value or the same rank or the same importance, because co means there is balance, there is something together with something. So co, and that is why we use these Fanboys conjunctions or coordinating conjunctions. So for means because. What does for do? It explains why, or it gives reasons. And adds information. Nor joins two negative sentences, but shows contrast. Contrast means something different in the second sentence from the first sentence. Or shows choice, shows alternatives or options. And yet shows contrast. So shows result or consequence. So look at this table and watch the video again to see how we use these Fanboys conjunctions. This is the end of the video. What you can do, you can type this sentence into Google, interactive exercises on conjunctions, and then Google will give you thousands of websites, so you can do more practice if you want. So thank you for watching the video. Best of luck. Please click on subscribe if you like the video, and I'll put more free videos for you in the future. Thank you for listening.